So there's a lot of fun topics, but I guess the thing that just came out yesterday was the live action Avatar.
Oh yeah,
which I didn't even know about until like all of Twitter just banded together to shit on it.
Oh, you didn't see all the announcements for it?
I did. We talked about it on Trash Taste. I thought we were talking about the game.
No. So yeah, after that though,
That's right.
after that they kept releasing trailers that made it look really bad.
Yeah,
Right.
And I feel like they were almost doing this like on purpose. Or
They
something.
kept making statements being like, okay, so this is how live action Avatar is going to be slightly different from the original TV series. And
Yeah.
every time they would tweet out, people like,
What the
why
fuck?
would you do that?
Yeah, they would just change core characters and stuff like that.
So yeah, I watched the first episode, like the first episode and second half of the second episode.
So to clarify before we get a
Second
pitchfork,
half of the second.
Sorry, first half of the second episode. I'm a bit tired.
God messages us last night at like 10 p.m. He's like, "Hey guys, you should watch an episode or two of the Avatar." I'm like, "God, why didn't you tell me this earlier?"
Yeah.
Well, I didn't actually know because I hadn't watched it. I was like, I was just pitching it to you boys.
Have you seen the original like animation?
No.
Okay,
Really?
this is good.
Okay, this is good. This is
Yeah,
good.
yeah,
Yeah, because you got a fresh
Yeah.
eye on it.
I thought it'd be interesting because I would be coming into it blind.
You've watched it, right?
Yeah, I've watched it.
Okay,
and
yeah.
I've watched all of Korra.
You've watched all. Oh wow, you've watched more
wow.
than me then.
Okay.
And I watched the first 2 episodes because it just came out last night. So obviously I can't watch. Like,
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
know, how many episodes are there? Like 8
It's
or 10?
8 or yeah, it covers
Yeah.
the first book, I believe.
Bro, I don't keep track
Yeah.
of that. I don't read.
What's the first book in the original? Is it just the first season?
Yeah, but it's like the first season, so they're
Okay.
like split up into books. Basically,
Right.
it's like the book
but
of
just read
water, the
seasons.
book of fire, the book of whatever.
Okay.
I think the first one was the longest as well in the series. I
The
can't
first
remember.
one?
Yeah, I thought so. I
Was
don't know
it?
if
Yeah.
I'm crazy. I might be. It definitely is the most filler. Well, not filler, but like slice of life, or what Freeman would call plot.
Yes. that is the plot, Connor.
That's a lot of plot. They call it plot in 3 rand. Yeah, but so I mean, by all intents and purposes, I think I'm a pretty decent Avatar fan. I think I like
Yeah.
the original quite a lot, and I really like Korra. I don't know until people didn't like Korra. I can't remember.
I couldn't get past the first episode of Korra.
Wait, Korra's great. First season of Korra, I really
It's not
enjoyed
the
Korra.
same, bro. It's not the
It's
same.
not supposed to be the same.
The moment where the moment where you
Well,
see
I don't
like
give you vanilla chocolate. Vanilla ice cream and say, hey, it's not chocolate.
the moment where like you see like Katara, who's like 80 years old, is like Aang's been dead for
That was
20
tight.
years, and I'm just like, no,
I love that.
It's just not my
like that.
hashtag. Not my Avatar.
Bro, that's just JoJo's.
You know what I'm
Joseph.
saying?
That's when you see
That
Joseph.
thing. Yeah.
That's like, you know what I mean? When he's old. It's like, what is that? Why is he old?
God,
I don't want old people in my shows.
how you're feeling right now is exactly how I feel every time you fuckers bring up League. This is exactly. I'm like, yes, I understand.
This is weird that we're talking about cartoons, and I'm like, I'm having a lot to contribute now.
Okay. Well, let's start with the very basic. Did you like it? Did you like the first 2 episodes? First episode.
Okay.
I think it's aight.
Okay.
I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. I know the bare bones basic of Avatar because Jesus Christ, everyone knows the introduction of Avatar, whereas like 4 nations lived in harmony until the Fire Nation attacks.
Yep.
And yes, I was like, there it is. It's
I know
it's
that
the
meme.
Fire Nation. I know. And the fact that they said that line in the beginning of the episode and then they had an in-character moment where they repeated that moment, I was just like,
No, the beginning part, the beginning like intro part, they did like an abridged version of it.
Yeah.
And then the in-character one,
Yeah.
she did like the full thing.
yeah.
And I'm just like, this sounds really off, I guess. And I think that's my one criticism right now. Again, I've only seen first episode and first half, second episode. My one criticism of it right now is that just some of the dialogue
Yeah, the dialogue's weird.
is a bit weird.
What my impression was, because I don't know anything about, I haven't seen what the original is like or how that was scripted, but my impression was this feels like if you didn't tell me this was an adaptation of a cartoon,
You figure it out.
no, this feels like a light novel adaptation, and the reason it feels like a light novel adaptation is because the dialogue and just the way people talk
It's weird.
is super weird. Like there was this one scene where Aang finds out he becomes the Avatar. And then he has this whole monologue being like, but I don't want to give up this life. I can't be the Avatar.
He just fucking runs away.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's just him just narrating all of his internal thoughts. And I'm like, this feels like something a light novel would do.
Yeah,
you know?
it's weird, right? Because I'm pretty sure something similar like that happened in the original cartoon. But for some reason, when it turned into an anime, it was like I was watching like a fucking like Shakespeare soliloquy, you know? Like it was just like, it's a little bit too dramatized to make it feel serious, if that makes sense.
I had fun with it. I enjoyed it. I didn't hate it as like Twitter wants. I think everyone wants.
Yes.
Oh my God, Twitter has such a hate boner for this.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of, before I watched it, I just didn't look at Twitter. So I don't know what they're actually saying about it, but I know that before it, everyone was like losing their minds.
Everyone, from what I saw on Twitter, everyone was just like, this is like an absolutely terrible adaptation. Everything about it sucks. And so I saw that and I was like, all right, well, fuck, nothing can be as bad as the Shyamalan adaptation, but let's see. And I watched it and I was like, the choreography and the CG is like pretty good.
Yeah,
Not amazing, but
I feel like
pretty good.
Twitter, with all the engagement bait now that is going on Twitter, because I only knew that this was released through all of the shitting on it on Avatar on that came out yesterday, and so I came into it thinking, oh, this is going to be fucking awful. I'm gonna get the popcorn, ready to roast the shit out of this, like the fucking Fire Nation did to everyone else. And then it just like I watched it, and then it wasn't bad. I don't know.
It's not bad.
Maybe it gets worse.
Visually, it's done very well. Like I think all the costumes are great. I think all the characters look great. Nothing looks out of place.
Yeah.
I think the dialogue is just kind of whatever. And also the one thing that
some of the acting as well.
The acting is like, honestly, I feel bad because he's literally a kid, but Aang is kind of like, I'm like, oh God, it's hard to watch Aang.
He's not much of an actor.
And people might be like, man, like it's so much better. He's just like that in the anime. I'm like, no, he's kind of like super chill and fun to watch in the anime, I guess cartoon.
Cartoon,
you want to get
whatever.
angry about.
Yeah.
But I like Iroh and I like, what's the fuck, the guy, I forgot his name, the guy. Zuko. I like Zuko in it. I think
Zuko's really good in it.
It's great.
I also like Katara and Sokka as well. Like I think the one thing that they did really well with this one, and I don't know, maybe my standards is just low because I'm comparing it to the Shyamalan adaptation, but the casting is like pretty good. The casting is pretty damn good.
I could not stop staring at. His name's Sokka. Sokka.
Yeah.
He has like he has the most defined chin of like anyone I've ever seen in my life.
He mused.
I turned to Cindy and I was like, bro, he definitely look maxes, man. he mute the fuck out of that chin.
The one thing I actually did feel like was kind of weird is that like,
look at that jawline.
That fucking jawline, man. God.
It feels intentional that he does that with his face.
Well, because, a lot of, I think what they're trying to do, especially with like Sokka, for instance, is that like a lot of the facial expressions that the actual actor does is very synonymous to what the cartoon version of Sokka does, right? Like it's the same kind of like facial movements and like attitude, which like I respect because, again, that's the one thing the Shyamalan version did not do. Like if you look at the Shyamalan Sokka, it is like, that's not fucking Sokka. That's just a dude in a Sokka outfit.
One thing that definitely feels a bit odd is that I feel like some of the characters like Zuko does pretty well is that like bending and shooting out these fires or water, whatever.
Yeah,
it's supposed to be like almost like a martial art.
Yeah,
the movement's supposed to be very martial art like, and I think that like weirdly, Zuko does it pretty well, but a lot of the characters it looks like they're like in Hogwarts when they just throw shit out. I'm like, and it's just kind of odd because it doesn't feel like it's conducive of you need to be at like understand the earth. You need to understand these elements and use them. And I feel like it's almost missing that, at least in episode 1 and 2.
Yeah, I enjoyed a lot of the choreography, especially in some of the early scenes, because it did feel like a mix between traditional like martial arts choreography and with like some special powers attached to it. And especially the early scene when the Fire Nation kind of like attacked the Wind Nation or whatever.
Nomads.
Yeah, and I was
the Air Nomads.
the Air Nomads. Yeah, whatever they're called. And I was like, damn, this is some pretty sick choreography.
I will say the one thing that distracted the shit out of me in episode 1 was I completely forgot that Avatar, the Aang's teacher's name was Gyatso. And the entire time I was just like, Gyatso. Also, there's that one scene where like the Fire Nation is attacking, and like Gyatso is like, it's like I can't fucking say his name without laughing. Where Gyatso is like, all right, children, go on and hide, right? And then he's like, where's Aang? And then he just goes, I
completely forgot about that.
I just fucking burst out laughing. I was like motherfucker screaming like an NPC. Like, he's like,
It would be hard to be like do that straight faced.
Yeah.
I was like, so you want me to shout? Yeah, okay, I guess I can do that.
Yeah.
It's like a heavy rain cutscene. It's just so funny.
Yeah, it all just feels a little stiff, and I think that's
Yeah.
the best word to describe it.
Yeah.
It like feels stiff
Yeah.
so far.
Yeah,
For sure.
And I'm not sure if it's the acting or the writing or a little bit of both. But you know, there are some scenes where I don't know if they're just rushing through things because I don't know how.
I've seen. I saw a friend of mine who posted like an Instagram story, and they were like, "Yeah, it feels a little rushed."
Yeah.
Which is weird because I think as of right now, the pacing, at least the first episode, is like pretty on par with the pacing of
first
the
good.
original cartoon.
The second one, they were kind of like jumping around a bit, and it was kind of like, "We're here, we're here, we're here. And the enemy's here, and their enemies. We're gonna find them." And next thing we're there. We found them already.
Yeah.
It's like, what the? Okay.
To me, like the thing that felt rushed was one, it was just like, okay, we need to give the audience as much information as possible, as fast as possible. Like the whole spiel with like the grandma being like, so everyone knows this. But Aang, I'm just going to repeat it, you know, and this is the entire history of everything, and I'm like, oh,
That's what I'm
okay.
saying. They literally talk like NPCs.
Yeah, exactly. And this is like, this is just an Oblivion NPC, making sure you're caught up.
I also don't think they showed the massacre of the nomads. Which is very sad, obviously. But I actually just don't think you need to show that. I think Avatar as a show works and is understandable. Yeah, because in the original it doesn't show it.
Oh,
It just opens with Aang awaking.
I think that was pretty cool, though. I mean, that was a sick
it's a cool
scene.
detail, but I actually the more I think about it, the more I'm like, I feel like it doesn't change Aang because Aang still wasn't there. Like Aang leaves, so Aang doesn't experience it, and I almost feel like, I mean, obviously seeing that adds to the weight because Aang left and abandoned the people.
I feel like they should have gone harder on the invasion scene just to like really build up the Fire Nation, because I thought we were gonna have a full-on fucking Anakin goes back to the kids' temple scene where because there were a bunch of kids hiding, right?
In the scene before, they literally like toast a guy.
Yeah, they literally like toast the guy.
And after that, nobody gets more than a beating.
Yeah,
and a light searing. Like it's like, come on, if we're gonna commit to charring a man and let's just fucking go hard.
I don't know, man. Gyatso got fucking crisped up.
Well, because like
in that scene.
Avatar's a pretty like dark. At times can be a dark show. There's a very
dark.
famous episode that I guess that'll probably cover it. I mean, do you mind if I spoil it if you're gone? I mean,
Yeah,
Are you talking about the bloodbending?
Yeah, the bloodbending.
Yeah,
one,
that's a
where
fucking
like this
awesome
old woman
episode.
goes to like I forgot her name already. How I forgot her name? Some sexist like Sokka actually.
What the fuck is bloodbending?
Okay,
So slight spoiler for Avatar.
what's the name of the woman again?
What, Katara?
Yeah, Katara. Yeah,
Yeah.
Katara. Yeah. Because what this woman goes, hey, what do you think it's in blood, water? You can bend their fucking blood if you know what you're doing.
And there's this one scene where like Katara is like learning to bloodbend, and like that death is easily the most scarring thing I've ever seen in like a children's cartoon.
Oh, shit.
It's actually like mega dark. But like that was the point in Avatar as well, where I was like, oh, okay, this is something diff.
It's tight.
This is tight. But I don't know. Like, I think at this point in the story, again, I've only seen first episode, so I don't know. But like at this point in the story, it's as you said, it's like it's just a bit stiff. It's just a bit awkward at times, and it doesn't feel like genuine interactions with these characters. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
You know?
It almost feels like their relationship has been just fast forwarded because I'm like, everyone
like pre-programmed.
Everyone seems really close, like already, really fast, and this seems like it felt like it was not a natural progression. It felt like okay, these people need to get along, and then they just suddenly have chemistry.
Well, they removed Sokka's sexism.
Yeah, I was about to say, like one of the updates that they did was they were like, okay, so in the live action Avatar, Sokka is no longer a misogynist. And everyone was, to comply with today's standards. And everyone was like, no, the point of Sokka being a misogynist is that he grows from it. And then at the end of the show, he's not a misogynist. Then he learns to respect female warriors.
Like the second episode is when he goes to the village and gets trained by the girl.
Yeah.
And then, part of the arc of Sokka and making him more likable is that he was this kind of guy who had obviously these pre-notions.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, you're a female warrior?
yeah,
You're not as
yeah.
strong as the male
But it doesn't
warriors.
really hit. It's kind of like a weird love thing in the
Yeah,
show.
they're going to second base way too fast.
I didn't
if
really.
you ask me.
I thought it was kind of like that. It doesn't really work. But
Yeah.
I think it you know, from
that
everything.
jawline, man.
Yeah,
It's the goddamn jawline.
he like turns into the village like.
That's legit. That's what he looks like. Motherfucker's face bending, man. He's inventing a new element right here.
It's the avatar. He should have. Yeah, I mean, if he'd done 100 years of looks maxing and mewing, he might have come out of chat. Instead, he came out
Mew
a little
bending.
beta boy.
Yeah. What I don't understand, is how the fuck did the water tribe lose to the fire tribe? Because I was just like,
Kind of glossed over.
yeah, I was like, okay, seeing the Fire Nation attack the Wind Nation, I was like, okay, this is just a bad matchup. But like when that girl was in like the fucking tornado,
Yeah.
and the guy just puts like the fire and like the air, just like she just crisps herself basically.
Well, no,
I'm like,
isn't it the whole thing of that because it was the Comet Festival? You find out later in the series that the comet is supposed to like increase the power of firebending.
Oh.
So that's why they decided to attack on that day, because it's like, yeah, we might have like an elemental disadvantage, but because we got the power of comet and anime on our side, we can fucking destroy any of the other elements, and that's how they like took over. Right? But they don't
Yeah.
explain that in the live action.
And then I think also in the anime, the cartoon, there's like fire can also use like lightning if they're really.
Oh yeah, because Iroh does lightning bending,
Yeah.
which is also sick as
how's
shit.
how's that to do with fire?
Well, it's close enough.
Isn't that close to like air, if anything?
Well, it's like plasma, like
Plasma bending.
Plasma bending.
Plasma pending.
Yeah, I think it's just kind of whatever suits the story, and that's
Yeah.
okay because it
Yeah.
kind of makes sense.
I am looking forward to seeing what's her face, the blind girl.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how they're gonna do that.
What's her name again? Shit.
Oh fuck, I know.
She's like my favorite character. Fuck, what's her name?
Toph.
Toph. That's
Toph,
it. Yeah.
Toph.
I'm excited to see Toph because she is easily
the
the
best.
best thing out of Avatar.
Yeah, the earthbending effects in like the very first scene look really cool.
Yeah,
With
it was
the
really
earth
cool.
breaking
Yeah.
and the wind
Especially
one.
again compared
and
to
the-
the Shyamalan.
Yeah, I've seen that clip with the M. Night Shyamalan where the five
To be fair,
earthbenders.
to be
And it's like
fair,
3 rocks.
to be fair, back in the day, CGI wasn't as good. If the tables were turned,
Yeah.
I think. I saw an Onion article that was like it was like an Onion article and it was a Shyamalan quote and he goes, "See, it's not so easy, huh?" Or something like that. It was so good.
But yeah, I think overall I'm like more pleasantly surprised with how good it actually is compared
Yeah.
to like all the hate that it was getting on Twitter.
the only scenes that like looked kind of ass was when they were like in the boat. The CGI looked really bad.
Yeah.
When they were in the boat.
What, at the beginning?
Yeah, it looked really bad. And I
Yeah,
was
there,
like,
there was
oh,
some there were some sort of shots of CGI that look a bit dodgy, but nothing enough to like really bring me out of it.
No.
But the
I think-
show looks at its best when you just let the costumes are so good. Just let
Yeah.
the costumes and the backdrop do all the work. You got these cool buildings, these cool backdrops.
Again, when you
do the
compare it to
work.
fucking Shyamalan Sokka, that's second image. That's the same character. Ain't no way.
Well, what
Like,
was so bad about the Shyamalan one? Because I've
everything.
I've never watched it.
I've never watched it. I just
Oh.
know it's like horrible.
You should sit down with a bucket of popcorn and watch that one.
Because I like I said,
Watch the Netflix one,
Yeah.
and then go back and watch the Shyamalan one, and you'll realize just how much better the Netflix one is.
and then I'll start with the Shyamalan one, and then level up. I'll start with the
you
Shyamalan
can
one,
do
and then
that
Netflix one, and then actually go back and watch
Yeah,
the
then watch the cartoon.
original
Yeah.
TV series as
Yeah.
well.
The
Do you think?
original's really good.
Do you think it still would have aged well? You like now? Do you think it's
The
like,
cartoon?
Yeah. Did you,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's still great.
I
holds up?
watched it for the first time during COVID.
Oh shit.
Yeah,
okay.
because I didn't have Nickelodeon growing up, so I missed out on a bunch of Nickelodeon shows. So like during COVID, I was like, well, I have to fucking just watch Avatar. I feel it's like
Yeah.
a rite of passage.
That's
And
really
I watched
good.
it. It's amazing.
Yeah.
It's
That's
really
actually
good.
so good. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I think like from my impression of this Avatar, it's a good introduction that I don't think
As it often is with the
no,
live action.
like
yeah.
it. I came into it with a similar feeling of like the One Piece live action, where
Yeah.
I'm like, I know this is probably not going to be the best way to consume the story, but it's a cool introduction. I think it does its job. It's a lot of mixed bags in its execution, but in order just for me to like get interested in the franchise, yeah, I think it did its job.
You hear that they're going to be making a continuation movie of the original series?
What?
Yeah, so apparently the original creators are going to make a cartoon, like animated film of Avatar: The Last Airbender, but it's set with all of them in their like 20s and 30s.
Oh.
So like, especially after the announcement of this and all the hate that it's been getting, there's just been so many just people like, I've seen so many like meme images of like fucking and one from Family Guy where like Peter Griffin is like covered in pillows and it's like me trying not to die before October 2025. So that might be good. But so you have until October 2025 to watch the original cartoon.
Do you think you're gonna watch the rest of this one though?
I will. Yeah,
You
because
will?
I'm genuinely curious to see if they'll actually be able to. I don't know. Maybe it's just kind of having a rough start right now, and it might take me time to kind of acclimatize to the changes. But again, like as of right now, I just think it's all right. I don't think it's like as horrible as Twitter is making it out to be, but it's not like the most amazing thing I've seen.
Yeah, I don't think it's as well executed as the One Piece live action.
No,
Oh, fuck no.
no.
Says a lot.
Yeah,
I think the worst thing this might have done is it just might be a forgettable adaptation, which is
it honestly
probably
could
on
be.
the same par as now 80% of live action adaptations. We don't really see like complete train wrecks anymore. I think the last one I remember being a complete train wreck was probably Death Note. And that was
the
actually
Netflix
that was actually quite a while ago.
That was ages ago, dude. That was like 2016.